Welcome to another episode of Drinking After Dark, a podcast where we discuss random topics while having a few drinks. I'm your host, Darius, and as always, drink responsibly. And y'all make sure y'all follow Drinking After Dark podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe to Drinking After Dark podcast YouTube channel. Tonight, I'm not drinking on anything tonight. I'm just drinking on some cream soda tonight. I hope you guys are having a great week. Gonna have a great weekend. I know Halloween is over, and I know everybody's ready for the holidays. With Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's coming up uh rather quickly. So um safe and happy holidays to every last one of you. All right, y'all. Tonight we gotta talk about the NBA. All right. So the NBA for their 2026 All-Star game just announced their new format. Okay. I'm gonna read this off and I'm gonna give you guys my opinion on all of this. Okay. All right. So the format would feature three teams, two teams that's made up of US players, and one team of international players. It will be a round robin tournament followed by a championship game. So the round robin games, each team will play the other two teams once. These initial games will be 12 minutes long. Team A will play Team B. The winner of that game will play Team C, and the loser of the first game will then play Team C. Sounds confusing, I know. All right. Now, in the championship game, the two top teams with the best record after the robin round will advance. If there's a tie with all three teams having a one-on-one record, the team with the best point differential will advance, and the championship game will be the final game of the tournament. All right. So this just my opinion about this. It's like a they're trying to do what the NHL did last. Well, they did that last year. The NHL pretty much took over. Um, Basically, they took over NBA All Star Weekend with their Four Nations tournament, which was a huge success for the NHL. So the NBA is trying to figure out ways to get people and players interested in the All Star game. Last year they had some similar to like the Four Nations tournament that the NHL had, but the execution of all of that was just terrible. It was more talking than game playing. All right. And then the players obviously not taking the game seriously, which I'll get to in a second. I don't see this thing working. I don't see it working because it really falls on the players, right? The players have to, in a way, kind of take this not too seriously, but at least show interest in the game itself. Okay. Um, the fans have been disappointed, from pretty much the whole All Star weekend. Let's just be honest. The highlight of All Star weekend has now been the 3-point contest, right? The dunk contest, last few years, Mac McClung obviously winning it, some great dunks, but let's just be honest, the highlight has been the 3-point contest. Um, and the All-Star game, which is supposed to be the main event, right? I don't know what has transpired with these players, but these players show no interest, which doesn't make sense to me, right? This is really a thank you to the fans. Um, that's why you have these leagues with these all-star games, so they could pretty much say thank you to the fans, to the business partners, everybody who supports their league, right? When you understand why football pretty much got rid of the Pro Bowl game, right? Nobody really wasn't watching it. It was after the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is like it's the biggest it's the biggest game. It's really an event, right? That's why they call it Super Bowl week. It's the biggest event in sports, right? Here in this country. But after the Super Bowl is over with, everybody's kind of like, all right, season is over. They try to have the Pro Bowl game afterwards. Not too many people was paying attention to it, and obviously it's a physical game, so you got guys who really wasn't going as hard, which kind of makes sense. But nobody was really interested in the Pro Bowl game. I know I wasn't. When it comes to the NBA and their All Star game, growing up, obviously basketball is my first love. Watching the NBA, um, couldn't wait to you know when the season started. Obviously the playoffs, but you look forward to the All Star weekend, right? The weekend as a whole, right? 3-point contest, dunk contest, All Star game. You did have you know superstars or up and coming superstars participate in the dunk contest. Obviously, in the 3-point shootout, you do have some superstars that will participate in a 3-point contest. When it came to the game, it was all about okay, let's give the fans a show, let's have a little fun. But that second half, they were competitive, right? Because they still wanted to win. Um, and a lot of ideas have been floating around about going back to just East and West. I think that'd be a good idea, but by the end of the day, it's on the players. The players going to have to make this work. And if anything, if the players didn't learn from what happened last year, how the NHL pretty much took over their weekend, right? With the Four Nations tournament, you had, if I believe it was, I remember it was USA, Canada, was it Sweden and Finland? I think those are two, the four teams. But when you have that, and we saw how it all started with USA and Canada, three fights in the first 9 seconds of the game with their first game. And then they end up playing in the championship game, which brought in over 20 million viewers, right? I was one of them. I watched the game from start to finish. First time ever I watched a hockey game from start to finish. It was a great game. Um, you could tell these players really took pride um, in playing. There was a lot of players that wanted to play. Um, some even cut their vacation short because if they got that phone call, they were going to play. And when it comes to the NBA, it seems to me like when it comes to a weekend like this, right? NBA All Star Weekend. This is their weekend to shine. Um, it seemed like a lot of players don't want to be there. They want to go on vacation and this and that. Listen, let's just be honest about something. You get paid millions and millions and millions of dollars a year to play basketball, and yet you don't want to show up. And nobody's saying you have to go 100%, right? People just want the All Star game how it used to be, right? Give us a show, show us some flashy dunks, this and that in the first half, and then the second half, you're like, all right, let's go play, right? Let's still trying to win this thing. I don't think there's enough money to really get these guys motivated because they already got the in-season tournament going on, um, which extra pay for the winners of the tournament and stuff like that. I think it was like 500,000 a piece for each player. So I don't see this thing working out because, like I said, it falls on the players, but also at the same time, if this doesn't work out, I think the NBA should truly consider getting rid of the All Star game. And matter of fact, the All Star, they want to be chosen, but they don't want to participate. I think that should not be on their resume whatsoever, right? If you don't want to participate in the All-Star game, then you should that part of it should not be um that should not be included on your resume. Especially we got these guys who, looking for their contracts, the incentives in the contract. If they make this, they do that. Um, I think they need to go and throw that out the window. If this doesn't work, because the NHL, we already know they looking to capitalize on what they did last year. So you got uh true hockey fans and those who are casual fans who are like, okay, we know what you did last year. Let's see what you could do this year. So they're looking forward to that. You as an NBA, you got to think about it. You got the NHL that came after you All Star weekend, pretty much took over your weekend. That's all they talked about, right? You got the NFL. If y'all remember last Christmas, the NFL had Christmas Day games on Netflix, right? When it's supposed to be, when everybody says, okay, the NBA season starts on Christmas Day, pretty much. Yet the NFL said, well, we're gonna play on Christmas Day. We're gonna have a game on Christmas Day. So you got the NFL looking to take over the NBA. No, you gotta do what's right, because you already got people complaining about the game as is, right? People complaining about the game as is, they don't. It's the fact that you pretty much took strategy out of it. It seems like, and you put in analytics. And I don't know about you guys, but anytime I watch an NBA game, I see way more bad shots than I do good shots, because everybody just want to just, you know, shoot threes, not falling down. Common sense says go to the basket, get a bucket, get to the free throw line, get some easy buckets so you can extend your game out. It's a lot of complaints that's coming on with the NBA right now. And for those that saying, okay, these players are more skilled than the players in the past, the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. Okay, if they're more skilled, let's bring back some of the rules. Let's bring back the physicality of it all, right? Defense. If they're more skilled, they should be able to break down these type of defenses, right? So which one is it? That's the question. Which one is it? But this format, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think it's gonna work. Um, and here's another thing when it comes to this format. If there's not enough international players, in terms of being voted on, the voting process will still be the same. All right. So in terms of the voting and all that, that'll still be the same. But if they don't have enough international players, then the commissioner, Adam Silver, will add international players to it. Right. So obviously, when you talk about international players, Luca, um, Jokic, Giannis, um, who else is out there? Doggone it. What's his name? OKC. Shoot. Hold on. I can't think of his name right now. Um, Shoot. No, no, no. Wait, hold on. What? Shay. That's his name. Gilders Alexander. He's from Canada. So it just popped up in my head. I couldn't really think of his name right then and there. But so you have him. Um, I mean, they got some international Sangoon from Houston. So they got some international players that could play, right? It's just a matter of are they going to be voted in, and the question is not a lot of them. But by the end of the day, it's just all about um, just getting the players to buy in, right? I don't see the players buying in. All right. And it's a shame too because they play basketball for a living. They make a great living playing basketball, right? You look at what the game has done for them. Look at the money, look at the house, you look at the cars, everything that comes with it, the attention. Um, and yet, sometimes I just think they take the fans for granted. Um, which, it's a problem. And again, I don't have faith in this new format. I don't have faith in the players to make this thing work. Um, and I think they just should just get rid of it. Get rid of it. I don't think even if they decide to get rid of it, the All-Star game, I don't think at that point they should be labeled as All-Stars. So if they're not gonna have an All-Star game, then the voting should stop. That should not be put on their resume because if they don't want it, then that's just that. So Um, y'all let me know how y'all feel about this new format. Do you think it's going to work? Do you think the players is going to buy into it? My answer is no. I could be wrong, but over the last time, if y'all remember the last time the All-Star game was competitive, it was 2020. Unfortunately, Kobe passed away, and they played. They played, and that was an intense game. Right. That was an intense game. I remember that game. That was the last time the All-Star game was like competitive because they were going at it. They were going at it. And obviously the All-Star games of the past, the one that stands out to me the most, you have the 2001 All-Star game. Um, how that stood out. Of course, you have the 90s because I think back then players had pride in the sense of, okay, they're saying that this guy's better than me at my position. I'm gonna prove to them that they're not. So it was kind of like that pride thing that they had by the end of the day. I don't know if these players have it today. Um, and it's in a way it's disrespectful to the fans as well. Those who pay their hard-earned money to come watch them play. You got some who, the game is gonna be in LA, right? So you're gonna have people who probably saved up years and this is their only NBA experience to go watch all the best players to play in this one game. And I don't know. There's a lot of things wrong with the NBA. I mean, you got the All-Star game, which has been trash. You got low management, analytics. Um, you got, I mean, let's just be honest. I don't feel like coaches are even coaching anymore. They're pretty much just managing, right? That's what it is. It's just managing right now. Um, yeah, who knows? I mean, like I said, I'm really hopeful this thing will work, but if it don't, get rid of it. All right. All right, y'all. I want to talk about this next topic real quick, sticking with the NBA. Um, Dallas Mavericks back in the news again. Seemed like this within a year time frame. They have been in the news. Obviously, if y'all remember last season, the blockbuster trade that that took place, which shocked everybody, including me, um, when the Dallas Mavericks traded the I mean, you could say definitely he's a top 5 player in the league. Some have him top 3, right? Um, which, he's definitely top 5, all right? And the top 5 players in the league are all international players, all right? Um, when they traded Luka Doncic, who's been first team All NBA for like 5 straight seasons, trading him to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, who constantly stays hurt, and well, that's pretty much the biggest piece right there. Kyrie gets hurt, unfortunately. Anthony Davis stays hurt. They drafted oh man, Cooper Flag. They drafted Cooper Flag, number one overall pick. How they get the number overall pick, I think it's a conspiracy. But anyway, number one overall pick. Team starts out slow. They haven't really been healthy. Uh Anthony Davis hurt again. Obviously, Kyrie with the ACL should be back this season. But they fired their GM, Nico Harris. Uh, Pretty much he's a scapegoat of what has transpired within this year. The new ownership group came in. Um, they didn't want to pay one of the top 5 best basketball players in the entire world in Luka Doncic, the Supermax. So they shipped him off to LA. Out of all places, LA. Uh, and I believe it was Nico's idea, but the ownership they have the final say. And the ownership pretty much threw Nico under the bus. I think they should take some accountability because if they are talking about um the standards before they got there. See, they don't even have a standard yet. Let's get this one thing straight about this new ownership group. You have not proven anything yet. You just got there. You got there with a team with Luca, Kyrie, one of the best front courts in all of basketball, that went to the NBA finals. Not this past season, but the season before last. Obviously, injuries happen, and yet you agreed to trade Luca because you don't want to pay him that money. There's more to it, I believe. In my opinion, I think there's more to it. Um, Obviously, there's been rumors about this ownership group want to move the team from Dallas to Las Vegas, which I think would be a bad idea because Dallas is a great sports city. If you don't know, obviously you got the Cowboys, you have the Mavericks. Um, who is it? Is it the Dallas Stars? Is it the NHL team Dallas Stars? Let me see. Yeah, you got the Dallas Stars. Um, who else is in Dallas? I don't think they have a baseball team. Um, Let me see. Well, you do have the Texas Rangers. So, but yeah, it's a great sports city. Um, a lot of traditions there, and you know, I think there's a reason why they didn't want to pay him. Some players, without question, no brainer, pay them the super max. Luka is one of them, right? Jokic is another. Giannis is another. Shea is another. Um, Steph Curry. You could say we're talking about guys in their primes, right? LeBron, obviously, you got against Steph, you had I mean, look at Anthony Edwards, guys like that, right? Brunson pretty much turned his down, took less money. Um, anyway, to fire Nico Harrison, it was bound to happen because once the trade happened, I'm thinking like, okay, he's gone. He's gone. But then when you realize general managers can only make suggestions, the owners have to approve it. The owners have to approve it, and they did. Don't know what they were. Well, we know what they were thinking. They wanted to be cheap. They want to be cheap, and this is what they got. Now look at the position that you're in. So you could have had. Listen, ain't no disrespect to Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag is a good player. We don't know if he's going to be great yet. Um, Obviously they got Kyrie out. Um, AD is out. Cooper Flag he's a talented player. All right. We don't know if he's going to be great, but he's good. Team started off real slow. They're starting off real slow. And yet it's such a long season to where they still can make the playoffs. But you fire a guy. Why? Because excuse me, because you were tired of all the the chatter, right? Every time he's you hear the fans, right, blaming him, which in a way you could have stepped up like this was my decision. But no, you hear behind the general manager, right? Because you came in, you didn't know what you were doing. You bought a team for probably because of your ego. Who knows? Who knows? And we all know if Mark Cuban was still the majority owner of this team, that trade, just the thought of it, he would have got fired, right? Just the thought of it, he would have got fired, and it would have been nothing else to say. Nothing else to say, but it was bound to happen. It's unfortunate it happened. I think it should be accountability all the way around. Um, Nico, I mean, at first he didn't want to deal with the media until they pretty much forced him to. Um, the owners, they could hide from the media. Yeah, some owners, we all know Jerry Jones love to be in front of the cameras. Um, but yeah, it was just a mess. It was bound to happen, but he will always be known as the guy that traded away um Luka Doncic, which he doesn't have final say over it. That's the owners. So who knows? This probably could come back and haunt him. If if Luka wins the championship in LA and the Mavericks haven't, it's gonna be it's gonna be problems for that organization. Big problems for that organization. So sit back and just enjoy the show. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in with me tonight. Once again, make sure y'all follow Drain After Dark Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also catch the episodes on YouTube. You can listen to it. You can stream it on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. Um, Anything y'all suggest drink wise, I do have uh, my Crown Chocolate. I do have that. Uh, so I'm gonna have a friend of mine, check that out. He gonna give, hopefully, with doing on here, give you, he can give you his honest opinion about it. But thanks for all the support and everything like that. Tell your friends and family about the podcast. Until next time, I'm Darius from Drinking After Dark, and we out. Peace.